today I really wanted to talk about healing. And when it comes to healing, more specifically, emotional and mental healing. You see, the thing is, a lot of people may not understand how vital having mental health actually is. But out of the three things that we value most as humans, that would be your health, your peace of mind, and your relationships. And if you have a compromise right here inside your mind because you failed to guard the gateway to your mind, then you will lose your effectiveness in all three capacities. That being, once again, your health, your peace of mind, and your relationships will all fall apart. So, in order for that not to happen, you really have to focus and become disciplined on healing. And this is an extremely difficult task. If you're doing it on your own, it's even harder. Way harder to be able to pull through to the end. Because the thing is, one of the biggest reasons why you need to heal in the first place and why you're in such a dark space where you're having trouble connecting with people, you do not understand them, and you also fail to understand yourself. You have clouded judgment. Your perception and your reality is no longer in tune with what the rest of the world vibrates with you, what it really wants from you. You see, the universe wants to pull out of you what is good, what is righteous, what is going to be and shine the light and the truth for others to see. And you have your own unique potential and your own unique voice, a specific way that you express yourself. But the thing is, when you start to lose control of your mind, you lose your ability to access your potential. And then all of a sudden, all different kinds of outside forces begin to penetrate your space. And with that compromise, you not only create a compromise of your mind and your productivity, your focus, but you also have a moral compromise in everything that you do. Your integrity, your character, what makes you up to be somebody who can be trusted. It completely diminishes along with your enthusiasm, your will to learn. You no longer strive to be curious because you have been brought into this very specific thought pattern as if it's an algorithm that's been programmed into you. And to be able to shift and break yourself loose from this uncomfortable zone where you no longer know what is good is really scary, especially when you lose sight of your own sense of self. When you don't have a voice and you figure out that things are not okay and there is something better and there is a light, there is hope in the distance, then all you're going to want to do is pursue that light, that hope, that truth, and capture it. You don't want to let it slip because it's all you've got to get out of this situation. And I want you guys to see and follow that light because it is what matters. At the end of that tunnel, your destiny is there waiting for you to fill your container with it and then be everything that you actually are. That's what this whole freedom journey is about. So in taking this first step into your emotional healing, you gotta go through the self-healing process. Now this could be relevant to somebody who, has gone through a lot of hardships, a lot of abuse in their relationships, who may have had traumas that bound them and held them back from being able to be a contributor to society. We all go through traumas, don't we? If humanity and the entire world were perfect and everybody followed through with altruism, we all just did good things for each other, and it was returned, because that's the hidden danger of altruism, is if you just do good things for other people, then you're not going to get any returns. And then, oh my gosh, there are no results happening here. Nothing happens for you. So people have to be good. People have to understand their morals, and humanity has to not compromise their integrity. Because together as one, united, we are strong. But when we are singular, we get taken down. We are at a disadvantage. It's so easy to wipe out one figure instead of many. We are strong. So, emotional healing and cleaning out your mental space, you can see it as a heaven and a hell. Literally, your mind, the space that you create, is all composed of the energy you give it. The culmination of your experiences has brought about that energetic feeling that you have shaped your own being into. So, to be able to live in that heaven, that bliss that you want to be able to create, you're going to have to do a lot of work to demonstrate what you actually believe in. And you may be in a mental space where you don't know what you actually believe in. You can be nobody, a clean slate. But if you're nobody, a clean slate, then you get to teach yourself what you get to believe. And you can do yourself right. The thing about this is, though, you probably will not get that chance. To be able to clean out your mind and restart your life does not happen. Unless you get amnesia, okay? But then it's still somehow programmed into your body. And you have past life experience come up and stop you from being able to do certain things. So it becomes really complicated. At the basis of it all, healing, from my perspective, when it comes to emotional healing, is truly expressing yourself to be understood. That is what heals you. Instead of allowing your wounds to gape open and allowing other people to stick their dirty fingers inside of them, you have to be able to release all of the burdens that come with that wound. And you have to be able to tighten it up and heal and recover and close yourself to containment. Because what's happening is that you are leaking. You are pouring out your substance, your energy, your ability to focus. It's gone. So, when you emotionally express yourself, you're becoming more contained with what you actually believe in, but you're also becoming more free. Because you were locked in a container, you were not free, you were held back from being a greater contributor to society. And what society tends to do when you are doing a good job is they tend to try and bring you down because they're unhealthy themselves. So they grasp at you and tug at you when you are doing well, and it says a lot about them to be in a state where they would take the time to say something that would actually bring you down and diminish you, who you are, to make you feel bad. It's sad. So if you can view it from that perspective, understand that people are not in a good mental and emotional state. And what we need is that health. We need to heal as a society, or humanity is going to turn corrupt. And it's going to be a very dangerous place where we will not get along, and the world and its people will split, and we will have to choose sides. With everything that is changing today, I fear for humanity. I fear for its people. I fear for the good of life. There's a very dark presence that's advancing, and I have to be the one to shine the light and change it. So, when you're going to heal, you really, really have to speak the truth. You have to be real, and you have to be transparent with yourself and the rest of the world. Because if you are just doing it for yourself, it can be really hard. It can be really, really hard. Because this whole life is not about being selfish. It's about being selfless. Just think about it for a moment. If you lived your life on this planet and there were no other humans, and then one day you discovered a human, wouldn't you want to be able to spend some of your time with them and share all that you know and teach them and bring them up to be able to communicate at your level, somehow understand the things that you know so that you would not be isolated? You could truly connect. Without that sort of emotional reflection, just think of yourself as one human locked in a room. Everything is white. There is nothing else around you but you and the room. You live in room. And this is all that you know. You make noises at wall. And wall echoes. So when you get another human response that breaks through that wall and enters your existence, your reality, your beliefs, it's a validation. And an inward validation at that says, hey, I exist. I'm actually here and I can feel things. What I thought was real wasn't. It was all in my mind. So outside of this white room, there's actually a real world living and breathing. And there are these trees, you call them. And they have green leaves and they're absolutely beautiful. I can hardly see in front of me. You know, what is going on? If you get that whole perspective from being able to live in life, you would really be grateful. Like, you would have wholehearted gratitude for everything that you have because you did not have it before. That's what healing's like. I mean, you've been basically deprived of everything according to the specific state that you're in because of what experiences you went through. Your life is a culmination of the experiences you create. So you have to take it back. And you have to regain your values and your moral grounding. Because you compromised somewhere. You agreed to these terms that you were going to be less. And you were going to be somebody else other than who you actually were. And in accordance with those terms, you can become nobody. And you can become your own desolate island. Apart from every other floating part of the sea. Whatever you know does not exist. You are an island of somebody else's making. So the hard part is being able to do this without guidance. Without being able to have somebody walk you through it. That's basically what I had to do. But the great thing about all this is we have the internet. And we have some really great, educated people out there who are learning, studying extremely hard, and they're very versed in their actual experience. And they share what they learn, and we get to be able to take that and develop ourselves from it. And that's what I did. I healed and I studied all of this stuff to be able to get my own self-awareness. And I didn't know that that was truly what I was getting at the time. I didn't even know what self-awareness or personal development was. Heck, when I heard the word connect on social media, you want to connect? I'm like, what do you mean? Connect. chat, talk, have a conversation, connect. Connect. It was like a new word to me, okay? And like life is about this connection, this energetic harmony that we produce. The great thing about harmony is that harmony doesn't necessarily have to be in synergy. I mean, we can come together with multiple elements to create a greater whole, but we don't have to be like everybody else. Harmony can be like a giant orchestra with everybody else playing their own tune, having their own character, their own resounding sound that comes from within, and it creates a magical masterpiece where everybody plays their own part within this space. Now, this space that we're all putting our energy out into is called the field. So when we produce, we energetically share out into this field, and other people around us can be able to feel that. And not just around us, but completely across the world, other people will be able to feel and reflect how you feel. So literally, the more positive energy that we're putting out into this space, this field, the better the world is going to be. But if the entire world becomes toxic and negative and hateful and everybody resents each other and wants to destroy each other, then we're gonna be in danger. All of humanity. So we have to put more good out into the space. Social media is programmed to be negative. People are pretty negative, and they're very cynical, and some people are punitive. They seek to inflict punishment upon other people. In our nature, are we really like that, though? So the question here becomes, how do we come together and operate together in a way where we can create unity, but also represent our own individual identity? And that's what harmony is. It's everything being able to work together and ebb and flow and create a masterpiece, but you also get to be able to have your own individual sound. You fine-tune yourself. The thing that is so magical about it all is that you have your own unique flow. That state of flow that you have is what is being disrupted. And when you allow yourself to get contaminated and your flow to get disrupted, it was by an outside force, an outside point of influence. And all you have to do is recalibrate your internal influence and work toward changing your environment to benefit you instead of degrade you, so that you can heal. And then incredible things will happen. Absolutely incredible things will happen. You best believe it. So change who you hang around with. Change the things that you consume on a daily basis. Stop listening to the news. Over 33% of the reactions are increased in people wanting to read the news when it's negative. So naturally, they put out more negative media. We now have the ability to be the bodyguards of our own realm. Guard the gateway to our own mind. So what do? We film ourselves and we say, hey, I'm feeling great today. I'm grateful to be alive, to be breathing, and to be feeling well enough to say, what's up, everybody? Have a great day. This is like positivity in your hand if only we choose to use it right. We are the gatekeepers. And what we do to be able to put the right materials out into the space ahead for everybody else to take, to consume, is all dependent on you and your brain, your mental health, your emotional intelligence that you will develop will all come from you becoming emotionally aware. And what that really means is you've got to be mindful of these things that you do not know. You have to focus and draw your attention to things that you would otherwise not think about. Focus on your emotions. Focus on this specific event. Focus on what happened throughout your day, and especially on how that made you feel. And then connect that with what else you are doing or need to do to improve upon it. Get a reflection from some other force. Read books if you have to, but make sure that you are consuming energy. Because if you don't have an energetic reaction and exchange, looking at a book is as good as looking at this white wall here. Okay? You have to engage. You have to be validated. You have to feel human. You can read all the books in the world, but that doesn't make you feel like you exist. I would not want to stay in a library for the rest of my life and never talk to a human. I would go insane. I look to get a reaction out of you to then take that energy and bounce it back to make you feel better. That's who I am. That's my gift and my talent and my character, my heart and spirit, my soul, and how my mind thinks and operates. I'm a performer. Okay? And I entertain. I give you joy. But in the long term, I also have an incredible brain that has healed from insane pains. And I have this gift to give to you. Long-term happiness. I know how to get it. I've lived it. And I figured out who I am from being an absolute nobody. Okay, I lost my voice. I lost my character. I no longer had values. And I allowed other people to compromise me until I did what they wanted. And I argued so much with myself, with other people, relationships just didn't click. So, if you want to be trusted, you've got to be trustworthy. And you've got to be able to tell the truth, because that's how you're going to develop your character. This entire healing thing is seeking truth. There is no secret, okay? If you live with secrets in your life, it becomes even more difficult to be able to heal. You kind of need to be transparent to do anything that is going to get you to feel better, because you need to connect. And connection is about love and relationships, folks. So it all comes down to loving and accepting yourself. But while you may be able to love and accept yourself and see yourself as good, do not lie to yourself and deny the actual reality. This is all about truth. So you cannot commit to a false belief. You cannot fool yourself. That will not help. If you need, seek outside influence and outside perspective from the right people. Okay? A mentor's point of view should be seen and understood from a perspective where if I'm learning this thing that they're doing, and if I really want to take in that information, would I trade lives with that person? Including the time, the body, everything that I have. Would I trade lives to be in the position where he knows what he does now? Where he has what he has now? Okay? The biggest thing, though, is the element of time. Can I call and collect and live my life better than they do if I were to be building my relationship with myself within the time that I would reach his age, their life. A big part of me says that's not a good perspective, because it's also, in a way, narcissistic. Let me compare myself to you, and that way we can validate if what we're doing is right or wrong. The big point is you have to view from within their shoes and see the position that they're actually at to understand if their advice is actually worth listening to. If they're not in a good position, don't listen to it. Just heal on your own. Do your emotional work. Like I said, it's exploring this space and being mindful, focusing on the elements that you would otherwise not explore if you were to just be thinking about numbers and units, goals and achievements, these things that don't necessarily matter once you figure out what it is actually real and what you actually value. So you've got to find your values, communicate and reflect with other people, however you need to, but ultimately reflect with yourself. Literally take the time to sit in meditation, breathe, feel, become aware of your body, your senses, okay? Really, really fine-tune yourself in, and you will begin to notice things that are changing. Just focus on it. Just really focus on it. And then focus on how it affects you when something happens to you or when something happens because of you. And then all of a sudden you're no longer going to need motivation to be able to move through. You're no longer going to need to push yourself, but you're going to be able to pull through. Because with self-development, it's a lot of rah, 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 rah. Let me do this thing and I will make it happen. Okay. Get away from the self-development after doing enough of it to pick your mind up, and then move into self-awareness and knowing who you actually are, what your talents and gifts are. Self-awareness at its finest is accepting your shortcomings while also accentuating upon your strengths and making your decisions based on the opening in between. That is self-awareness. So, if you focus on your strengths, the things you're good at, you pay attention to those, but you also accept your shortcomings, meaning your setbacks, your weaknesses, the things that you hate, the things that anger you. Understand those, but don't pay attention to them and do those things, because it's a waste of your time, it's a waste of your energy. And if you focus on your weaknesses instead of your strengths, you're never going to get better and good enough to be fulfilled in doing that thing. Let's work out if I'm a skinny little twig. You're not going to fill yourself with confidence. Just do the thing that you're good at if you're a brain mathematic whiz head. Okay? So, the self-healing process really takes commitment. And it takes courage. Courage is something that is extremely important. You're going to develop humility. You're going to develop the ability to speak your mind, your emotions, and feel them as real. Know what you're saying is true when you say it, when you think it, when you do it. You're going to get a real perspective, but it's going to take some work before you can be able to really connect with other people, see and understand them, reflect back their emotions. And when you can do that and you really understand people with ease, which when you heal, you're going to get a heightened perception and strengthened and unique abilities that you wouldn't otherwise have if you didn't go through the healing process, because you wouldn't have become sensitive to pain. You're going to get better than you would have if you hadn't gone through the pain. So the big thing about happiness is seeing and feeling everything as good. And then you can be happy. So happiness is a choice. And all of this is about energy. So if you're creating an energetic exchange where you just simply change how you feel about the situation, then you can reprogram your mind to think how you believe. I no longer have to apologize to this person. I apologize to myself. Forgiveness is a self-done thing, and the pain you cause yourself is self-inflicting. If I got divorced with this lady and I want to enter the relationship again when she no longer wants to see me, to say I'm sorry, tell it to yourself. It's not necessary. You can go no contact and be perfectly fine. Okay? You don't need closure. It's something for yourself. So, all of this is relevant to your reflection, the self-reflection that you're going to need to have. And I would highly recommend doing an awareness documentation or an ad talk a day, and literally taking a camera, filming yourself, talking into it, and then playing it back. Let me see. Oh, okay. Wow, I didn't know I looked like that when I say that. Look at how my lips move. Wow, that's some interesting body language here. Whoa, I can feel that emotion. I can take notice of it and really be able to spread my awareness in this spectrum. Why don't I try and pursue this goal around that and see if I can make things a little bit better? I'm doing this thing, and we're trying it differently. We're taking these different steps. We're actually taking actions. I'm just documenting the process of speaking about it, and we'll see how it turns out. This is much better than I thought it would be. Now, I'm noticing that if I explore this route, it makes me feel better. And you do more things that make you feel better, therefore acquiring your truth. And also living a just life. And then helping humanity. Because your life as a leader is just. You as a leader have to follow through with your own commitments. And then you can gain the respect. You can gain the honor. You can have your own self-dignity. And you can become integral with the world. And once you begin to trust yourself, other people will begin to trust you. Because that whole relationship where you are allowed to have a relationship where you can always be trusted by everybody. You are known to be honest. That character that you build, that's a reputation. And you have to build a reputation to be able to get anywhere in life. Otherwise, you're just a single individual on your own, trying to do things but not accomplishing anything. Remember, stay true to the vision of unity. Deploy empathy, awareness, and transparency to be able to create unity through positivity. These are my 5 values, all in one acronym. Eat up. Empathy, awareness, and transparency to create unity through positivity. Deploy them all. Empathy, awareness, and transparency to create unity through positivity. Do it all. Okay? This is my lesson for you by being able to help guide you. I hope it helped. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Please tell yourself the truth and feel it. Feel it. And then you'll be able to heal. Okay? I love you.